Hello and welcome to Backbeat Ballad. I'm your storyteller, Randy, and I'm creating a couple of videos to handle some questions that we get asked a lot. The most common of which is probably, what is a changeling? After all, even if you're experienced with role-playing games or live-action role-playing games like Backbeat Ballad, you might not have played Changeling the Dreaming in the past. So, what is a changeling? First off, we can't really dive into the history of changelings without talking first about the dreaming. That's with a capital D. It's right there in the title of the game, so you know it's important. The dreaming is a magical land filled with magical creatures that is created by the dreams of humans. Every night when they sleep, humans have dreams, even if they don't remember them in the morning, and those dreams are filled with nightmares and fears, and also hopes and fantasies and thoughts and memories. All of that adds together into a substance called glamour that makes up both the physical materials of the dreaming and the energy and music and light that exists in the dreaming. It's also the fuel or food that powers fairies. Now, when I say fairy, don't think necessarily of just something that looks like Tinkerbell from Peter Pan, a tiny humanoid with little butterfly wings. There are fairies who are like that, but there are plenty that are different, such as trolls, who might be massive creatures hiding under bridges that are asking riddles of those who might pass, or metal-teethed, bloody-headed creatures that wander in the forest and devour your flesh. Basically, fairies can be all sorts of different things, but they do adhere to a couple of simple rules. They are creatures of glamour, they're native to the dreaming, and they tend to be tricky and mercurial. They don't like the idea of staying the same all the time. And they think humans are really far less mercurial. Humans are somewhat boring, but sometimes entertaining because they don't adapt to change nearly as well as fairies do. However, this characteristic of humans, as they grew more powerful, became a problem. As they wrote up laws and societies and built walls and locked their doors and created the rudiments of science, a force entered the world that was the opposite of glamour. Glamour being, again, the fuel and the substance of the dreaming. This force was called banality. It is literally the raw material of cynicism and apathy. Banality is not badness and evil necessarily, because malice is something you could dream about and have creativity for. You could be obsessed with achieving vengeance against the person that wronged you years ago. That could be driving all of your hopes and fantasies and dreams, and that would create glamour. Perhaps glamour that is more appealing to a violent type of fairy, but still glamour. So don't think of banality as simply evil. Banality is much more like nothingness, boredom, feeling as though everything is all the same, you don't matter, your actions don't matter, and the world is just a repetitive cycle that means nothing. That is banality. And it is the absolute antithesis of glamour. Where glamour fuels and inspires the fairies, banality poisons them and kills them. And they have absolutely no resistance to it. Humans might be driven to abandon their dreams or become surly or driven to substance abuse or depression by the existence of something like banality, but they can survive it. They might not be happy about it, and it may change the course of their life, but it can't kill them. Whereas fairies are absolutely killed by it. So, once banality became a real force in the world, they began to hide in places like hidden moon glades, deep forests, places that humans couldn't find them, because when humans came, banality came with them. But as we know through history, humans eventually show up everywhere. So the fairies ran out of options. They found themselves painted into a corner with banality in every direction. It was completely an untenable situation. The highest, noble fairies, the ones who were lords, ladies, and kings and queens, called themselves the Sidhe. The Sidhe proposed the solution that the fairies would retreat deep into the dreaming in a place that humans could never reach, the native world of fairies, Arcadia.